Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we've ever received such a large batch of information in one sitting as we just have in Hypixel Skyblock. We're so used to being told information in small batches that the current flood seems a bit overwhelming in all honesty. Not only have we been told what the next piece of content is guaranteed to be, but we've been given a ton of information about new items, implementation, and events. My name is Derailious and welcome back to Skyblock News. But before we get into any of that, I want to say thank you guys for all the support, but only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you could hit that button down below, it really would mean a ton. But without any further ado though, let's get right into the video. Before getting into any update leaks or things of that nature, I do want to talk about some changes that have occurred with the Ancient Pig, notably the fact that the Flying Pig item has had one of its perks removed. The perk, which allowed you to break crops on your island from 50 blocks away, was completely turned off, as it allowed you to break crops on other people's islands as well. This led to a lot of griefing, and potentially some bans, although I can't necessarily verify that, so I'm pretty happy it's been turned off. The perk as its own thing seemed pretty powerful, and possibly even overpowered as is, and some other people were saying it wasn't working with Replenish, and you could only use it by single tapping instead of like holding down your left click. So it just seems like it was poorly implemented, and I'm pretty glad it's gone overall. Moving on to an excellent piece of news, foraging has finally been fixed. For those who don't know, when the Dwarven mines came out, they introduced the new mining tech, which basically caused us to get mining fatigue pretty much anywhere in Skyblock. This has been removed on trees specifically, meaning that we are now able to insta-break logs once again. This was a major pain point for a lot of people. A lot of people really did not like foraging for this specific reason, and with it now finally being fixed, I can imagine a lot more people will be active in the park. Moving on to the update portion of this video, we're going to have quite a bit to go over, mostly due to Jayavarman. Jayavarman basically hosted a Q&A on his island related to the development of the game after the Ancient Pig came out, and it was filled with information not just about future content drops, but how specifically the developers work on content, and gave a bit of insight on why they make the decisions they do sometimes. Starting off with this Q&A, Jayavarman stated that there may be a forum post to explain a few things in the near future. This will likely be explaining future content drops, and why the admins make the decisions that they do, probably related to things like, for instance, sword swapping, which was brought up briefly, in which Jayavarman stated that the sword swapping fixes caused lag when rolled on main, so they are doing something different. I kind of understand this. It honestly makes a lot of sense at the end of the day why they would revert the changes in the first place, and some people were stating that the only way to get around sword swapping was to completely change the system and make it so it worked on every tick. This would really lag out a lot of big servers, including a lot of the Hypixel servers that are run here, so it makes a lot of sense that this was reverted. I don't necessarily believe that they'll have a fix ready for sword swapping for quite a while now. It doesn't really look like they have anything planned at the moment. Next up, apparently the pig event doesn't actually seem to be a one-time only event, and will likely be occurring every 12 Skyblock years without the shop items and just the orbs. Basically how it would work is that every 12 years would be a year of the pig, and people would try to get 7 relics in a few days. These relics would have a much higher overall drop chance, which makes a lot of sense, as the current chances are likely under 1 in 100,000. If we were able to get all 7 of the relics though within that same year, the rest of the year would be the buffs that we are currently getting from the Ancient Pig, not related to any election stuff. They would drop the 7 relics again every 12 Skyblock years. Honestly, this sounds really great. It's nice to see another event being added to the game, and a pretty powerful one at that. I know a lot of people really have been enjoying the double mob drop stuff that's happening right now with the Ancient Pig, and seeing that return would be pretty great. Overall, great stuff here. Moving on to probably the most important piece of information we're going to be talking about all video, we're going to be discussing the Dwarven Mines Part 2, which has been confirmed to be the next piece of content coming out in Hypixel Skyblock. As you can see, Jayavarman states when referring to the Mining Part 2 update that it's making good progress, but it's a few weeks out still. Someone in chat asked if the new Mining Island achievements will be released with 0.11.5 or with Part 2 of the mines. Jayavarman responds with Part 2, but although he stated that it would come out with 0.11.5, it might be pushed out a little bit further to the next one. The reason being is that it's probably not going to be ready immediately, which is pretty fair. This update seems to be relatively large in size and has been a few months in the making. I'm really excited for it personally, as I feel like mining is one of those things that can always use a bit of a bump. On top of this, the Dwarven Cave seems to be mostly combat focused, and more combat focused content is always great. For our final piece of information today, we're going to be covering the Enchanted Clock, an item that has been shown off previously but has never really been added to the game. Varman stated that it actually works already, but in order for it to actually be released, they would have to redo minion animations. The reason being is because the minions work too fast with the buff active. As well, he states that the 50-second cooldown was just for testing purposes. This item was made before release, basically meaning that when it comes out, it will likely have different stats and probably a much longer cooldown before use. Combine a ton of update information with some major bug fixes that a lot of people have been asking for, and I really think Hypixel Skyblock is in an excellent spot. Overall though, my name is Derailious. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.